So today I thought I'd be doing a video just about top 5 buses that I want to buy. Hopefully the wind isn't too much. I've actually got a lapel mic now. I'm trying this out, see if it works. If not, and then, well, I'm still going to use it because I paid money for it, and it was the only one that I could find. It costs a little bit more than I wanted to pay for. But anyways, so right now I'm just at Fairland's garage. You've seen this in a School Bus Hunter video. I believe it was the second one I ever did. But funny thing, nothing new here since then. But anyways, I just thought, I'd do a video on top 5 buses that I would buy. So yeah, let's get to it. So first up on my list is the S1800 International. I'm not really picky about what kind of body it has. I'd rather a Bluebird or a Thomas, but I'd also take a Ward or a Superior. I really want an S1800 because in the area that I currently live, it'd probably just be better for me, for the health of the bus, if I got an S series with, a DT, which kind of brings me on to my next point. I'd rather have a DT because, they're reliable engines. They are, they're good to work on, and I'd rather have an NT643 behind that, maybe a 5-speed. I'd still take a Wayne or a Carpenter, but I'd just rather not. I'm not really big fans of them, but I can still appreciate them. And yeah, that's about it. Move on to the next one, the Bluebird All-American A3RE. Next off on my list is the Bluebird All-American A3RE. I decided to film this portion in my truck because it's sprinkling outside, which it seems to have stopped. So I'll film the next section out in the open if it continues to stay like this. But anyways, I have a piece of paper right here that I'm going off of. So I grew up with these buses. I've always just really liked the way they looked. I grew up with them. There was one just down the road from me, from where I live, for a while, until that driver got 726 new. She had 663, and I guess she switched routes, or maybe they just gave her a new bus and put that one on a other route. But yeah, that was probably around 2008 whenever she got that one. So for the first two or three school years that I was in school, there was a 2001 Bluebird All-American RE just, chilling right there. And that was actually the one that we sold. That's the only one that we've sold so far. It ended up going to Maryland and becoming a schoolie because I actually found it on the Facebook Marketplace for sale. So yeah, if I were to get one, it would probably be anywhere from 2001 to 2003 because that's what we had here. If I could get one of the ones here, I would. Just really depends on if I have the money whenever they decide to sell them, which will probably be not this next auction but the one after, because we're still using most of the ones that we ever bought, so all but 2. We bought a total of 10, I think. 1 2000 model, 3 2003s, and then I guess 6 2001s, I think is what it was. But yeah, if I were to get one, also it would have an 8.3 Cummins or a Cat 3126, just because that's what ours had. This is what I'm used to. They're both very good, reliable engines from what I can tell. So yeah, that's it for the All-American A3RE. So on to the next section. Next up on my list is the first generation ICCE 300. I would go with the 300 just because the same reasons as with the S series. There goes somebody's car alarm, or just a horn. But anyways, I would go with the first generation CE 300 with the DT because I would almost need one where I live. I live in a very mountainous area of the country. I mean, I live in the mountain state, West Virginia, so I'd kind of need one out here. I can have Noah to thank for this because, we've been pretty good friends for the past few years, and, our tastes in buses have kind of intertwined a little bit. There's that area where we've kind of influenced each other with what we like. He's kind of given me a new appreciation for IC. I've kind of given him a new appreciation for Thomas, I think. Noah, go on and comment if you'd bother to watch this video. But I just really like the way they look. I like the driver's area. It's very comfortable, very driver friendly, and if I got one, probably be with the DT. So yeah, on to the next one. To conclude this video, we've got the Thomas FS65, which I have right here, and then the Bluebird 3800 is beside it, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. Not specifically just a Thomas FS65 that I would like. A Bluebird FS65 or a Carpenter FS65 would also be acceptable. If I were to choose in order, what I would want, go Bluebird, then Thomas, then Crown by Carpenter. But I really wouldn't mind having any of them. If I were to go for one, probably have a Cat 3126, a 5.9 Cummins, or a Mercedes-Benz in that order. And Mercedes-Benz were only offered in the newer FS65s that Thomas produced. But I really want one of these just because their design is neat. The driver's area was pretty unique in that it was a couple inches higher off the ground of the rest of the bus. You know, the floor of the driver's area was a couple inches higher, so that had manufacturers needing to accommodate to that. So Thomas had to build, you know, a taller body for this one. Bluebird did too. They actually did a lower headroom roof cap in the front with a higher headroom roof cap in the back, and with under the driver's window there's an extra short section of rub rail on top of the normal rub rail that they had to deal with. So I don't know exactly what Crown by Carpenter or Corbeil did, but I'm sure they had to accommodate to it too, because, you know, the FS65 chassis was same across the board. So these also ride and drive really nice. I drove one up at Mike and B in the summer of 2018. There's a video on my channel. Go check that out if you'd like. I also rode one in October of 2018. A good friend of mine at the time had one, and he took me for a ride on it, just, you know, down the road and back. That one actually ended up getting scrapped. It was very similar to the one that I tried buying back in September of 2018. So it would have been October 2017 whenever I rode it. So I rode that one in October of 2017, then drove the Thomas, not this one, but the one up at Mike and B, in the summer of 2018 in August, and then in September I tried buying a Bluebird with a 5.9 Cummins, but the other two had Cat 3126s, and that's really what I want in one of these. But yeah, they're just, to me, they're just really neat buses, and I'd like to see what other people do with them, see what I can do with one, maybe get some ideas, and just see what I can do. You know, I feel like there's a lot to work with here, with it already being just a pretty neatly designed bus as it is. So on to the last one, the Bluebird 3800. To conclude this video, I've got the Bluebird 3800 here. This one is equipped with the DT466E, like I would prefer. I really want one of these because, you know, as most of you know, if you've been following the channel, especially since the beginning, I rode one of these to school. So I just grew up with one. I rode one for 9 years, from kindergarten to almost all the way through my 8th grade year. I would take one with low headroom, West Virginia spec, preferably. I really don't mind what kind of specs it has, as long as it's especially low headroom. I'm not really a fan of the way the high headroom looks. I know you can't really see it because of this bar right here, but high headroom's just not really my forte as far as the Bluebird goes. But you know, I'd prefer 89 to 93 or late 2001 to 2004, just because of the way the driver's areas are laid out. And the earlier models had mechanical engines, and those are a lot easier to work on. They're much more reliable. So I just thought, you know, that'd be pretty cool to have. But yeah, that'll conclude it for this video. So like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.